Welcome to Pasłęk. I'm sitting at the console of the Hildebrandt Organ made in 1719. This instrument looks like a late Schnittgerian object. Its organ case with pointed towers and polygonal towers is really quite characteristic and not unsimilar to late organs of Schnittger like Hamburg Ochsenwerder. The builder of this instrument, Andreas Hildebrandt from Gdańsk, had indeed some contacts with the instruments made by the school of Arp Schnittger, especially by Johann Balthasar Held, who was really at a certain point the right hand of Schnittger, and he would be responsible for great and famous organs like Groningen Martini, for instance. And this organ has, especially in its plenum, this North European, North German, you could say, idea of a bright sound with a clear mixture. But the organ builder used also some very traditional motifs, traditional for this region, already since the mid-17th century, namely a great variety of 8-foot stops. So the Hauptwerk of this organ has no less than 5 8-foot flue registers and also an 8-foot trumpet and the Quintadena 16, a concept that many of us would perhaps connect more to the Central German or even Southern German way of constructing organs and its sound. But this idea was really traditional here, and already around 1650 the organ building family Nitrowski would made this kind of stop lists. The Oberwerk of this organ has a variety of 4-foot stops, so like the Hauptwerk 1 octave higher, you have an interesting choice of flutes and also string registers. You also have actually 4 8-foot stops on the Oberwerk, 2 flutes and 2 reeds. Quite interesting is the pedal division, which is divided into 2 subdivisions. Those divisions can be activated by means of Sperrventile, so you can prepare certain registrations and just by means of pulling one stop you will change quickly and very effectively the sound. So one of those divisions contains only the plenum, the flue plenum, 16, 8, 4 mixture, and also the great quint, 10 and 2/3, while the other one consists of reeds, 16, 8, 4, and some soft stops, flutes, and also high sounding registers, octave 2 and Nachtron 2. You will not find any couplers on this organ, so you cannot really combine the Oberwerk and the Hauptwerk, but it is actually also not really necessary, since the sound of the Oberwerk is somehow included already in the wide sound of the great. And also the pedal division is so independent that you don't need to use any kind of the stops from the manuals. And it's actually quite similar to, let's say, the organ at the Cornell University, this late Schnittger school inspired instrument, which also has no couplers. It's maybe also interesting to mention that this organ was probably one of the very first in the region to have the full chromatic compass of the bass octaves in the manuals and in the pedal, already in 1719. This was not very common in this part of Europe at that time. And you also have a transposing device for the Oberwerk, which is activated by this iron lever, and it transposes the sound from chord tone, which is approximately 465 Hz for the A1, to Kammer tone 415, so that you can play your basso continuo with historic instruments using not only a Gedacht 8, but all of the resources of the Oberwerk division. And some organs from the 18th century preserved in Poland also have transposing pedal stops. So I think it's wise to teach the young disciples of the organ art to play the continuo also using the pedal. So all in all, an interesting organ with some unusual, maybe also exotic sounds. Very universal. I think J.S. Bach would like this organ because of its possibilities.